inside a live stream. And today, it will be a very silent live stream.
Really?
Yeah. I'm Mike. I'm here today with the one and only...
Eric.
No, whisper Eric. We need to be silent.
Eric.
On Twitch, we were even able to classify it as being ASMR. Because we have a very, very silent topic. Only whispering, Eric.
Eric.
2 hours long, only whispering.
No.
Let's see if the viewers can handle it this long.
Eric.
Okay, chat. I don't want to see capital letters because capital letters in chat mean that you're shouting. But of course today we will be very silent, so only small letters.
I might not be always silent.
Yeah, you have to be today. Like, I know you're not always.
Why did you find me? This is a big challenge for me.
This is the first time that like 2 or 3 rooms further they are not able to hear Eric while streaming.
This is,
this is loud
really,
whispering.
This sucks, kind of.
Okay, let's start with some very nice ASMR because I'm thirsty and I got a nice can of Coke. Cheers.
Cheers.
So Eric, what are we going to talk about today? Or are we only whispering about Coke and stuff?
Okay, so first of all, you invited me for this. So
Yeah.
if I'm yelling, I mean, this is difficult for me.
If you're yelling, you're destroying everyone's ears, so be quiet.
So, we're going to talk about a case, and it's supposed to be quiet, right?
It's very quiet.
Yeah.
It even has quiet in the name. The MPG Quietude 100S.
But do you really think people can hear us like this?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. When I'm looking at the mirror, because we bumped up the volume for the microphones quite a bit, so this should be rather loud. So don't do that.
Why not?
That destroys people's ears.
Can I not
It's
whisper like this?
It's no.
But
no,
normally
no,
I shout.
This is not what that doesn't fit the quietude case that we're talking about today. You're way too loud, Eric.
Oh my
Keep
god.
it down. Keep it down.
Anyway, we have a giveaway. Go to msi.com/2/insider or on YouTube and Twitch. We have a bot running. If you click on it,
Eric, whisper.
then you might win something. We have Steam vouchers today to give away.
Yeah, several $20 Steam wallet codes.
So we not only have the case, right?
No, we also have a power supply today.
One or more?
We have one, but it's actually about a new series of power supplies.
And we have some new... Should I do like this? Or can I talk like this?
No, the first one.
Oh, come on.
The first one is way better. It fits the ASMR much better.
Okay, so we also have a new water cooling, which is still NDA-ish.
We only have a sneak peek about that today. We don't go into too much detail, but you will be able to see a little bit of it.
Hey, shall we do a game? The one who can make the other laugh out loud?
You're already laughing, so you already lost.
Oh.
He's not even good at his own game. This is way too easy. By the way, I got something else to destroy people's ears. Look what I have here. Oops. Sorry about your ears. I got a hammer today. I'm already sorry for the noise that this will make. But we also have a very cool fan, and I want to show you the internals. Okay, so later on, some destruction going on. Maybe if you guys are watching and listening, put your volume down when I start with the hammer, because we don't want to make you guys deaf, okay? So Eric, shall we start with our very nice new MPG Quietude 100S case?
Sure.
Let's start with a little bit of unboxing then.
First unboxing?
Yeah, I think first unboxing.
These are the new products we're going to talk.
Oh, you're already teasing everything.
They know.
Okay, so we have the MPG Quietude 100S.
Yes.
That one we will talk about today. Then we have the MEG Silent Kill P20 fan. That one is actually also part of the case, but will also be sold separately. That one we will also discuss today.
Don't destroy our live stream.
Like usually you can just walk in, but now you can hear everything. Oh, Ja's fixing the camera in the meanwhile. Don't destroy it, Ja. Oh, good. And then you will be able to have a sneak peek of our upcoming MEG Core Liquid S series liquid coolers. And today these new liquid cooler series, but we will also show our full lineup again because recently we of course launched the Core Liquid P and the Core Liquid C series as well. So if you're interested in all the different models, and during several live streams that Jai had with his pre-builds, people in chat were asking about the 120mm radiator liquid cooler. So for the people who are waiting for that, I also have some good news for you. But for that you have to watch the live stream later this month. So today, let's start off with the MPG Quietude 100S. And this is a big heavy box. So I'm sorry about all the noise. I'm sorry about that as well.
Hey, Andre is here. Andre, can we vote what kind of pizza you're going to eat today?
Andre the pizza guy.
Yeah, Andre.
Make sure to eat quiet, okay?
Today. Something hot.
So there it is, our new MPG. Sorry guys. Our new MPG Quietude 100S.
People think you're annoying.
Why? I thought
Because you're
everyone loved.
whispering.
I thought everyone loved ASMR, right? Like there is no one who cannot stand whispering in your ear, right? It has to be super loud. I'm very happy that I'm currently whispering and not listening to someone whispering because I personally cannot stand ASMR. I'm stuck. There we go. Eric, do you see what's on the side of this tempered glass side panel?
Yes.
I think that is very, very suitable for some ASMR.
You need to remove the box in the backside.
The box on the back. Oh, it's too big. Wait. Let me move this
And
to the side. That was my equipment.
are we going to destroy the glass with a hammer?
No, we're
Why not?
not going to destroy the glass. We're going to destroy the fan later on.
I saw you have a hammer. And
I do
see
have a
glass.
hammer. In case we cannot open the fan in a normal way, I will use the hammer to open it up, okay? Okay, let's first start off with some very nice tempered glass side panel peeling.
Doesn't make any sound.
Oh,
What are we whispering about? I don't know. I just got invited.
we're
to sit
talking
here.
about a very quiet case today, so we cannot make too much sound. So this is the MPG Quietude 100S case, and this case is all about silence. So let's dive a little bit further into it, okay? Eric is sleeping again. He should now switch to my slide, of course.
Yeah.
Good morning, Eric.
So what do you want? What do you want? Detailed camera slide?
No, I want to slide. Okay, so this case features our new MEG Silent Kill P20 fans, and these fans will also be available separately. So later on in the stream we will open one up, or at least try to open one up. Then we'll show you all the sound dampening features in this case. So for example, sound dampening foam within several panels. Later on I will take it all apart so you can see it in all detail. And then we have the fan speed control button. So that's a button on top of the case, right here. I think you should be able to hear it like this. But with that button you can control the fan speed of the fans in the case, and you can actually connect all of them to one central hub, so you can control several fans with only one button. Let's first talk a little bit more about these MEG Silent Kill P20 fans, because they're a very important part that makes this case so silent, but also what will make our upcoming MEG Core Liquid S series so super silent, because this is a very advanced type of new fan, and it's extremely silent while still maintaining high static pressure, which is of course very important if you're using, for example, liquid cooling or an all-in-one liquid cooler, because the high static pressure will push the air through your radiator better, so you get a more efficient heat dissipation. So if you have a better high static pressure, you're able to turn down the RPM of the fan, so it won't spin as fast, and that way your fan will be more silent, and your total system will run more quiet than what you would have with a regular fan on a radiator. So here you see a graph with a comparison of several RF fans, and also the case independence curve. So this way you can see like the airflow and the static pressure of the fan. Sorry?
Can I go?
No, you cannot.
I want to shout.
You can shout after the live stream,
No.
but only after you clicked end stream. So not right before everyone left, then everyone's deaf. So be a bit quiet, okay? So let's continue with the fan. These fans, they can move up to 56.2 CFM of air. And the static pressure is 2.21 millimeters, so that's quite a lot. So it's really suitable for those radiators. So if we take a more detailed look at this fan, then you will see there are several tricks that make this so silent. The key thing of a fan is usually the bearing. So the bearing is basically what allows the motor to make the fan spin. So if the bearing doesn't go smooth, then you will get noise from that. So basically you have three types of bearings that are very common. So you have the sleeve bearing, then you have the double ball bearing, but in this situation we have a hydrodynamic bearing, so there's actually fluid in it to make it even more silent. This is also a very durable type of bearing. So for example, if you want to run it for extended periods of time, the durability of these fans will be very, very good. But also the fan blades are a very important factor when designing a fan that has to be very silent, because by having the fan blades, by having the exact right amount of fan blades, but also having them at the exact right angle, you will get maximum performance with minimum noise levels. So that is one of the key features of these fans. That's really a lot of trial and error to see what gives you the best results. But these fans, we ended up giving them a 32-degree angle to get that perfect airflow at very, very low noise levels. Then also the case of the fan. So the housing, the frame, also has rubber pads. So where it attaches to the case, you cannot get any unwanted vibrations, because vibrations will also give you noise. By having these rubber pads, that will be dampened. So also makes your fan very silent there. So maybe it's time to take out the fan off the case and maybe see if we can open it up, either the easy way or the hard way with the hammer. So let me see if I can properly reach this.
People are getting a headache.
Already?
Husseini. Me too.
Now you're like whispers shouting.
Can I stop?
No. You have to stay quiet, Eric. It's ASMR. We put it at ASMR on Twitch, so you have to stay silent. Otherwise they will kick us from Twitch because we put the wrong topic in.
Okay.
So here we have the fan, the MEG Silent Kill P20, and actually the way the fan is installed in the case is also different from what you're used to from most cases. So in the case, let me take one, see if I can take one out. So instead of a normal screw, there is like this mechanism. So you will find these inside the case with some rubbers on there. They basically go through here, and then we have a pin that you put in there, and then of course with the case in between, and that's how you attach it. So also by having rubber here, it's really impossible to get any vibrations that will cause noise. So also to make it quieter, we're not using normal screws in this case, but also a rubberized mechanism in addition to the already rubberized corners of these fans. So here you see it, the MEG Silent Kill P20 fan. So as the name already kind of tells, P12, it is a 120mm fan. So not P20, P12, so 120mm. There comes one by default in the case, and that's because we'll also sell this fan separately. But also, if you, for example, get our upcoming MEG Core Liquid S series, shh, Eric, silent. That one will already come with 3 fans. So, for example, those you can use where you position your radiator, so you will already have 4 fans in total. My notebook is making a bit of noise, so if you hear something, that's my notebook. Sorry about that. So this is the rear of the fan. So you see the fan housing. It's also a relatively heavy fan compared to what you're used to from most case fans. I think I need to put my notebook a little bit further away, otherwise it will make people deaf.
Why don't you switch it off?
There we go. So we can do some more ASMR peeling here. Of course, Lucky the Dragon on there as well. So let's see if we can open this up. And if we cannot do it the easy way, then we have to do it the hard way. We have, of course, not practiced this before. That's why we took a hammer, to be sure we can open it up. So Eric, I'm pretty sure this is gonna be a tough one. Shall I already grab the hammer?
No screw.
No screws. Because usually, so also don't try this at home, because usually just keep the fan like this and it will be in perfect condition and work perfectly fine. It is not meant to take apart and it will definitely not make your fan more silent.
If you are going to use a hammer,
let me first take off.
can we then not just talk loud?
No.
Why not?
No. Only the hammer can make sound, not you, Eric. No, also no screws underneath the sticker, so I'm afraid we need to use some violence.
Try a screwdriver.
Like in between. Yeah, I will first try without the hammer. I don't think this will got it, Eric. So maybe you guys remember our live stream about different cases. We also shown how strong tempered glass actually is. So we got some experience with hammers in our live stream.
Kane, don't use capitals, you're shouting.
Oh, be
Kane,
quiet.
chat.
No capital letters. No shouting today, okay? Eric, can I already use the hammer?
I think you're too afraid to open it.
No, I'm putting quite a lot of pressure, but it's a bit too strong.
Did you go to the gym today?
Hammer time.
Okay, only hammer time if I'm allowed to scream or like talk normally.
No, you have to be very quiet.
Oh my god.
Okay, if you're very quiet during the hammer time, then afterwards we can switch to normal, but only if Jet agrees. So Jet, what do you prefer? Normal volume, or do you prefer us to continue in the ASMR? Please let us know in chat, okay? In the meanwhile, you may want to lower your volume of the device you're listening at a little bit, because I will attack this with that.
Ian is saying I need to stop you.
Why?
Because I think he's afraid he's going deaf.
That's why you should lower your volume on the device where you're
Hammer
watching.
time. Then touch this.
So let me see what the best way is here.
Normally I'm the guy who destroys everything, right?
Usually you are indeed.
You're an amateur.
Sorry about your ears, guys. Okay, I dropped it, but I didn't open it yet. This is harder than I thought it would be. But not giving up just yet. I'm only breaking the outside, but I'm not opening the inside.
Yeah, so Tom 3D2 is wondering if this fan will work afterwards.
Probably not. That's why you shouldn't try this at home. Oops. practice at home. We're doing this so you don't have to. So that's where you see the motor. And this is actually a green PCB, that's why it looks a little bit weird right now. And this is the magnet. And these are magnets in the, how do you call them, the coils. And with the magnet it makes the fan spin. So also when I keep this here, the magnet will put it in the right position. And the bearing inside, that's what makes the fan so silent.
Hey, again, somebody's saying you're annoying. You used the hammer, so now we can go back to normal, yes?
Did chat agree?
Oh, okay. Guys in the chat, just vote if you want to have normal sound or annoying sound. Oh no, I mean, you know.
ASMR.
Hey, bullshit. So.
Hello, Warrior to Hero.
We can go back to normal now, right? You used the hammer.
Yeah. Did you already turn down the volume a little bit? Otherwise I would be very loud.
Let them first vote. Yes, go to normal sound. Yes, go to normal sound, please.
Oh, I see the votes are a little bit divided.
What yes? What yes? Yes.
If the votes remain divided, then I can go back to normal and Eric has to continue whispering, right? Oh, the votes are really divided. So Eric, what will it be? You're counting them, right?
Oh, one guy can shout. Hey, that's me. That's cool. Oh, I mean, that's me. That's cool. Punish you with your ASMR stuff.
So guys, are you all tired of the ASMR?
You are the ASMR.
Sorry for your ears.
But I think if I can talk normal and you need to do the whispering stuff, we might have some echo.
Yes, so put them equal. Am I still too loud?
Oh, that's a good idea. Normal voice with ASMR for hardware motions. Yeah.
Interesting one.
Normal. Hey.
I will just remove the fan attachment mechanism. So, all the sound fixed. JPSH says more normal, softer voice can work. I don't think Eric has that option of a normal, softer voice. Eric?
Yeah, I think I put back everything to normal.
Yeah? It looks okay now. I think we can speak in a normal volume again.
What a stupid idea that was. My God.
Hey, it was supposed to be a quiet live stream. But of course, Eric
With
couldn't
me?
handle it for longer than 5 minutes.
Nah. I feel liberated, you know? Really.
Now that you can finally shout again.
Yeah, this is how I normally talk. It's
I'm very
like,
sure
like
that
I did,
actually all
like I
other
stole a cookie and I got punished.
All other departments in this building very much appreciated it, probably, that you were all of a sudden quiet.
Hello again, everybody.
Hello.
Turn down your volume.
So let me remove all my destroy the fan equipment.
Well, now we can do it again, but really make noise.
Want to destroy it even further?
I mean, now, well, is it still working? We can see later. Just leave it like this. We will see.
Yeah, but I don't have the correct header. I don't have the working stuff to make it work.
I didn't know this was like a difficult.
It's pretty hard, right?
Challenge, yeah.
And on Twitch, you got like a whole lot of those ASMR streams, and they're doing it like for hours at once.
That's okay.
You would never be able to do that, Eric.
No. Because the problem is, if you whisper, you also need to sound nice, like you know, kind.
You do?
And I
Isn't that the same when talking?
No. Well, actually, then I don't care. But when you whisper, you know, you need to be. Blah, blah, blah.
So why do you care when whispering?
Because I cannot whisper like this.
So have you ever tried getting angry while whispering?
No.
Try it with your children tonight.
I think you sound like Donald Duck.
Yeah, they will probably just laugh in your face. But
Yeah.
they will do that anyway, right?
Yeah, indeed.
Okay, so let's continue at a more normal noise level. We've got some more peeling, so we will also do that at more normal noise level. And then we can take a better look on the inside of this case. So we just took out the fan, but normally, can you switch to the close-up cam?
Sure.
So normally that's where you will find the MEG Silent Veil P12 fan.
Can you turn a little bit? Yeah, for the front. Yeah, well, no. Yeah.
Not better?
Yeah, well, better not, but...
So that's where it's usually positioned. Right now it's gone and destroyed. So let me take it apart a little bit because I want to show you some more of the sound dampening within this case. So this is just a hinge swing door. It's made from tempered glass. You can easily take it out of there.
Like last year, I believe, we did some breaking glass live stream.
Yep.
We were proving how strong... No, so this normal tempered glass, we had the laminated tempered glass, right?
Yes.
Is this a laminated one?
No, I believe this is a normal tempered glass.
Okay, yeah. There's also laminated, there's also
yeah.
more soundproofing. But if you want to have soundproofing, then you're not going to use this glass door, are you?
Yes, you will. Glass is actually
Yeah, true.
it's very sound dampening. It's usually, of course, the thinner parts that will release more sound, and that's why actually these side panel, but also the top panel, for example. Let me take that off as well. They all have an extra layer of dampening foam on there. So usually when you would have your side panel, so not a tempered glass one, but the one on the other side, so just a metal panel.
Yeah, you already hear it when you knock on it. From the other side, it's
Sounds
yeah,
a
it's
whole
not...
lot different than what you would usually get, of
Yeah.
course. It's also very thick, relatively heavy, and that's of course because of the sound dampening foam in here. And it's not only on the side panel, but also, for example, the top panel. So this is a magnetic top panel, and this is also metal on top, but also the sound dampening foam right in there. And that's all meant to make the case more silent, of course.
I used to do this in the past, like maybe already 10 years ago or longer. I put some isolation material in the case also to make it less noisy.
Yeah, and it's always you always have to be careful with where you put it, because of course you don't want to block all the airflow.
Yeah.
But later on we'll show you have plenty of airflow left with those very silent fans. You can still make your case very, very quiet. And yeah,
I remember the
tempered glass
legendary
by default,
event where MSI monitor saved somebody's life. Yeah, well, this case did not yet save somebody's life. But who knows?
Okay, maybe switch to the slide. So here you see an exploded view of the MPG Quietude 100S. And as you can see, you have the sound dampening foam in 3 different panels. So the one I have right here is, of course, the big side panel on the right. This one is the one you have at the front, or at the top, but there's also one at the front. So let me show you where that one is located. So if you have the front of the case right here, you can take this off, and this also has the sound dampening foam in there. You may be wondering, how do you still get airflow then? But that's through the sides and the top of the case. So here you, for example, see that you have still a lot of breathing room on the top as well. And right here there's also a nice dust filter that you can remove as well. So yeah, a lot of sound dampening foam within this case, and it does make it kind of heavy. So when you pick it up, right now it's just an empty case, but because it has tempered glass, it has all the foam installed, so it is a relatively heavy case. Keep that in mind, but that is of course to make it more silent.
So this is not a
thing.
case you want to bring to LAN parties or something?
It's not a most mobile case.
No.
It can even fit up to, later on I will go into more detail, but it can fit up to an extended ATX motherboard. So it's a relatively large case. It's not extremely large. It's not like, for example, the Secura 500 is quite a bit bigger.
But this one is relatively heavy because of all the foam and, of course, the tempered glass.
You know what I'm going to do?
I think
I'm
when I
going
look
to
at my
shout.
watch, time for a giveaway.
Yeah, indeed.
That's a good idea. So if you haven't participated yet, go to msi.com/2/insider. Or if you're watching on YouTube or Twitch, you can also follow the direct link that our bot will put in the chat once every 5 minutes.
So first winner, Grinlo. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Keep
You
an
are the
eye on
winner
your
of a
mailbox.
$20 Steam voucher,
Yep.
Steam wallet voucher. If you want to participate, go to msi.com/2/insider. I'm not sure if our chatbot is running on Twitch.
Is it broken?
Yeah, it doesn't like. Anyway, it's working on YouTube.
Maybe
and
the chatbot
I
did a
will
rage
post-
quit because of all the whispering.
Yeah. I will post the link to the giveaway.
So when participating within Gleam, you get certain options. The more actions you perform, the bigger chance you'll have to win. And also important for the returning visitors, don't forget to claim your loyalty bonus. Because if you're a returning visitor, you're able to get a few more entries to have a slight edge in the giveaway as well. And I believe you can already do that from the second time, right? If you have already participated in the giveaway once, the second time you're already eligible for
I will just put this here.
bonus.
Let me see if that... Yes, they have it for the Twitch chat.
Yeah, I see some people in Twitch also saying I entered through YouTube. Yeah, so if you haven't participated yet, make sure to do so. If you already did, no need to do it again because you will automatically be included in the next drawings as well. So we will be giving away several $20 Steam wallet codes today. Let's take a look at the fan speed control button in this case, because that way you can actually easily switch the...
Now it's working in Twitch as well.
Yeah, it's working.
Yep.
Perfect. So let me turn this a little bit. Right here at the top of the case, you of course have all the I/O with the USB ports, with your audio jacks for your headset, power button. You can switch the RGB lighting, USB Type-C. But this one is something you don't see very often with cases, but it allows you to switch all the fans that are connected to the hub. To switch the fan speed of them, and you can actually turn them completely off, so 0%. With one press you get them to 70%, which is usually kind of the sweet spot for fans. They still have a lot of airflow, but they are usually much quieter than having them at 100%. But if you're, for example, in a certain very loud environment and you don't care about noise, you just want the lowest temperatures, by clicking it once more, you can also put them at 100% fan speed. But usually, around 70% for most fans is approximately the sweet spot between having very good airflow, very good cooling performance, while still maintaining much better noise levels than when putting it at 100% fan speed.
Can you do a build and a stress test to see how the case affects GPU and CPU and GPU temps? Well, we didn't plan that today.
No, we're not going to do a full build today. Also, with time, we weren't able to make that because later on we also want to show you our new power supply series. But maybe later on we can do maybe a bit.
And I would say, in the end, just wait for independent reviews.
Yeah. So you can also see comparisons with other cases. But also at the end of this month, we're also launching our new MEG Core Liquid S series, which is a very silent all-in-one liquid cooler as well. We made that together with Asetek, that we also cooperated with for our Core Liquid K series before, which is also an extremely silent liquid cooler. So maybe in the future we can maybe do something like a live stream with that Core Liquid S series with our Quietude case. So that can be a nice topic. And maybe show you some tips and tricks on how to make your system more silent.
But then we're not going to do ASMR.
No, you don't want to do more ASMR?
No.
David James is asking, what fan RPM do you recommend? That very much depends on the use case. and also the type of fans you will have. When you have smaller fans, let's say for example 80 or 92 millimeter fans, if you want to have proper airflow, they need to spin way faster than what you need with, for example, 120 or even 140 millimeter fans. So usually the larger the fans, the lower you can get your RPM while still getting proper airflow. And further on, it also really depends on the exact type of fan that you're using. Some have more fan blades, some have less, some have them in different angles, some combine different type of fan blades. And that all makes a difference in the characteristics of your fan. It also depends very much, is it just a case fan that's moving air in or out the case, or are you specifically pushing air through a radiator or maybe a tower cooler? So usually I would just say go for trial and error. Just try some different RPMs and see what your temperatures do. See what if you're overclocking, for example, I can imagine you probably want a higher RPM, but of course that will make your system louder. So usually just build your system and then trial and error a little bit, see what your temperatures do. Take a look at the settings that you want to run. Do you want to run it at stock or maybe even undervolt your system? Do you want to overclock it? Because all those variables are very important in what kind of fan speed you want to put in there, or curve if you're going to control them through, for example, your motherboard and your BIOS.
Yeah, so Julian asking, I wonder if these would be recommended for things which require maximum cooling and performance, like 3D rendering. Well, that really depends. I mean, if you have a dedicated machine for 3D rendering, I suggest also to have cooling for that. And then it also depends if it's like in a 19-inch rack or in a different form factor. If you have a workstation which you're using to do your 3D modeling or your workflow in like other programs like Adobe, and then in the end you need to render a movie or 3D rendering in AutoCAD or some other 3D program, then this can be useful, because then you can, depending on what kind of thing you do, adjust the fans.
I see a very interesting question in chat by Templar Ma on Twitch is asking, when you put your radiator on the front, aren't you just pushing hot air into your case, or do you reverse the fans? Usually when you put it at the front, those will be your intake fans, and then the fan on the back, and if you install them, the fans on the top.
Yeah, you have different philosophies to do the air.
Yeah, indeed. So if you're pushing it,
maybe you can show it on the side, Michiel, the case.
Yeah. So if you position your radiator in the front, you will push the air inside your case, but of course
pull.
Yeah, okay. It depends if it's front or the back of the radiator, because you can put fans at both sides. Then you have a push-pull configuration. Yeah. But that aside, the air will flow into your case, and that also means that the cold air first goes through your radiator. That
Which is important.
It depends on what you want. If you want to have the best CPU temperature, you always want to have the freshest air into the radiator. That's going to cool your CPU. If you want to have better GPU temperatures, so for example you're running more on the edge with your GPU temps, but you have more headroom with your CPU, then you can, for example, consider putting the radiator at the top. Then it will take the air from the case, so it will be slightly warmer, and will push it out on the top of the case. That way you will get slightly lower temperatures on your VGA, because it will get fresh air that wasn't heated up by the radiator yet. But it will slightly increase the temperature of your CPU. So it really depends on where your priorities are. It really depends on the kind of hardware you're using. Like if you're using a very high-end CPU with many cores and a higher power consumption, then probably your priority will be with the CPU. If you're running, for example, an extremely high-end graphics card or even multiple graphics cards, then that may be different. So it really depends on what you're doing with your system, on what kind of components you're using. And actually, I think somewhere next month, we will have a blog post on our website where we'll also show you a lot of testing with different radiator positions, but also different fan directions. So for example, what happens with your temperatures when you put your radiator at the top and push the air out or pull it in. So we got a lot of different examples there, and there you can see the difference that it makes. For example, what does this mean for my CPU temperature? What does this mean for my GPU temperature? And there you will also see that different radiator positions will give you very different results, and it's it's impossible to say this is better than the other, because that really depends on what you're going to do.
That's
with your
always
system.
benchmarking.
Yeah.
Testing and benchmarking.
Yeah, but it's also preference. It's also
Yeah.
it depends on the system you're using.
Depends on the room where you put it in.
Yeah, for sure.
On the table, below the table.
Also, if you, for example, if you put it like you have those desks where you have some space to put a computer inside, those can be, for example, very tricky because you might choke certain parts of your case. So yeah, that's actually a very difficult question, because there is not a single correct answer like this is where you have to position your radiator.
When will the blog be online?
I think somewhere next month. Can be later next month, so in October.
Well, probably we will mention in the live stream.
Yeah.
What I always find very annoying, because I don't know, can you take your the fan you have?
Yes.
I never know what I need to put as outside. I mean, is it the nice fancy logo, or is it a sticker with all the technical stuff?
It depends.
So I will go to detailed.
What you want to do with it. Like if for example, usually by default in this case it will be positioned like this. So you will have the housing.
So it pushes to the technical label. Always.
Yeah, indeed. Like you see, like the housing where it connects to the motor.
Yeah.
That's where the air will come out.
Okay.
So this will be the intake side.
Yeah.
And it goes through like that.
We should make this more clear. I mean,
this is on some fans. I know in some of our cases you actually see an arrow with a direction that the air pushes through.
That is. I know the arrow. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not present on this fan, but still, the philosophy is the same. So it's always.
It's like in a car where there's an arrow on which side you need to fuel your car.
Yeah, indeed. But you've got an electric car, so you don't need to fuel it.
That's true.
But yeah, if the air goes in here, comes out here, and that goes for all fans.
Yeah. Michiel, has anybody told you you look like Orlando Bloom?
I do?
No. I think he's playing the troll in in the Hobbit or something.
He's also playing in Pirates of the Caribbean, right?
Yeah, also a troll, ugly guy.
So then he has to look like me.
No, I think he's one of the elves. Not?
Is he?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not too much into fantasy kind of movies, so I'm not exactly an expert on that. I have seen most of them, but
yeah,
I forgot most of them as well. Let me see. I saw another question. How much is it? Later on, I will show you a price overview. So yeah, let's dive a little bit deeper into it, because to get that fan control that I just mentioned, you need to connect the fans to the control board, and the control board is actually located on the back of the motherboard tray, and that's the small PCB right there.
It's your cable management, right?
No one saw that, right?
No. Yeah.
No cable management yet. It's just an empty case so far. Yeah. So here you have the control board. Let me see. There we are. These are addressable RGB connectors. So here you can, for example, there are two RGB parts of this case. I will show you later. But those are already connected, but you can add more addressable RGB components there. And then, of course, the main header goes to your motherboard, so you can also control it through your motherboard and sync it up with the rest of your components. But on the other side, right here, you have, let's see, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fan connectors in total.
Yes.
And when you connect your case fans there, so this one, usually there is one already connected, the one in the back, but I just destroyed that one. But there you can connect 6 case fans. So you can, for example, also connect your radiator fans if you want to. And then you can control it through the button. Of course, you can also decide to connect the fans to your motherboard and then set up an RPM curve in your BIOS, for example. So that's up to you, what you prefer. Do you want to be able to control it with the button? Do you want to have like an automatic fan curve through your BIOS? Yeah, so it's personal preference, what you like best. People talking about cable management. Yeah, there's no cable management here right now. There's also not really a system in there. So, then let's take a look at the front USB Type-C. This is getting a more and more common thing nowadays. Also, quite many motherboards now support this. The front USB Type-C.
Yeah, there are a lot of like mobile Type-C devices, and they will give you a Type-C to Type-C cable.
Type-C is getting more and more popular. You
Yeah.
see it on so many devices nowadays. It indeed started with mobile, but now you also see it for sometimes, for example, mice and keyboards that have detachable cables also go for USB Type-C. It's basically the new standard for USB, and the transition, of course, takes some time. But yeah, USB Type-C is getting very, very common.
So VRK, yes, it does have Type-C in the front.
Yes, you have 2 Type-A ports and 2 Type-C ports. Here I have our new MEG X570S ACE motherboard, and here you can, for example, see the header that you need in order to be able to connect the Type-C on the front of the case, or at top of the case in this situation. So make sure that if you want to use it, that you get a motherboard that has this header.
And also you have the right cable in your case, because there are also, I think there are Type-C connectors on the old connector still, right? On the USB 3 port?
Like for example, in this case, you already get. I know in the very beginning, the early stages of the Type-C front connector, you didn't have motherboards with the right connector yet.
No, so well, it was different, because indeed, it's correct what you said, and you didn't have mainboards with the correct connector because there was no standard.
No, indeed, that took a while.
Everybody had to make their own Type-C, front Type-C, if they wanted to have it on the case and also on the motherboard. So everybody came up with their own standard, and this was one of them.
Or they were using this one. This is your regular USB 3 header. But the benefits of the Type-C is that you can also go with higher speeds. So this one, for example, goes up to 10 gigabits per second. That's also what most motherboards do. But some motherboards can even do 20 gigabits per second. And that's not something you can do with the regular old school header.
In what year are we going to miss that we're going to talk like, yeah, you know, in the past you needed to put a USB cable 1 time, 2 times, switch it around, and 2040?
I think
2050?
I already started with that.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm switching more and more to USB where I can, to Type-C where I can. Aren't you? Like for example, my phone charger, I used to have like Type-A to Type-C.
Yeah.
Now I also have Type-C.
No, I still a lot of times have Type-A.
Yeah, I wanted to have, for example, the Quick Charge 4, and I believe that only works with Type-C to Type-C as well.
Well, it's more how the cable is certified.
Yeah, but I don't think it's a bit like the USB 20G. There is no USB Type-A USB 20G.
Yeah.
When it's USB 20G, it's always Type-C, and I believe it's with certain charging standards, it's like that as well.
Yeah. Well, it's slowly pushed upon us.
Yeah. But I think it's a good thing. It's more compact. You don't need to turn it around all the time to make it fit. So yeah, Type-C, in my opinion, is definitely a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
VRK is also saying in chat, Type-C headsets also. Yeah, I think in the future you will see more and more peripherals that will get Type-C. So mice, keyboards, headsets, everything. So as Eric already mentioned, Type-C is a reversible connector. So no turning required anymore. This case also, of course, very much depends on the device you will connect it to. So motherboard in this situation. But the cable is also certified for up to 15 watts. So for example, in the future, when you get motherboards that, for example, can deliver more power through USB to, for example, allow more quick charging features, then this cable is already prepared to go up to 15 watts. Of power to push it through that connector.
I think we will not see this very fast, because for the next generation motherboards we're working on, I don't see this feature, or NDA, haha, no. So yeah, and this is something.
But it's a case can last for several years.
Yes, that's the.
So maybe you're like 3 generations
this.
further, and you may still be using that case.
Because what is the Type-C connector now giving? If you talk about 10 or 20
like
gig?
If you have like a standard USB.
3 watt.
Let me calculate. If you have USB 2.0, it will be even less, because you have 500 milliamps times 5 volts is 2.5 watts. Mm-hmm. Then if you have USB 3, so it doesn't matter which generation, if it's 3.2 Gen 1, 2, or 2 times 2, all of them give you 900 milliamps. So times 5 watts is 4.5 watts.
Okay.
Yeah, 4.5 watts.
Yeah.
So that's the default. But yeah, in the future that can of course change. You will also see different new USB standards in the future. And that can also mean that with a certain USB standard, also the standard charging capacity changes, which is what we also saw when transitioning from USB 2.0 to USB 3.
Yeah.
Then it also went from 500 milliamps
Yeah, but
to 900
I
milliamps.
think on the current mainboard this is still lacking. Has also to do with cost because supplying more power via the front USB also you need to add cost in order to provide that.
You know, like if you're going outside of the default spec, you need to add additional components as well. So space will also become a factor there.
Which is cost again.
Yeah.
Because then you need a larger PCB, more components. So yeah.
Ian9K says there is 20 gigabits per second Type-C already, I think. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
This motherboard right here, the Ace, actually has it. So right there. But that one is still on the rear of the case. So this one is a 10 gigabit per second port.
Yeah.
So let's continue to our door. So this is tempered glass.
Take out the hammer.
No, I'm not going to destroy it today. I already did that before. So if you're interested to see how strong or weak, whatever you want to call it.
Okay, let me rephrase that. If you're interested to see how strong the glass is, or if how weak Michiel was, it took a lot of effort, right?
It did. Like even with a regular hammer, it didn't really break. I was able to damage it, but not really destroy it. And then I took out the safety hammer. I actually took it from my car. And then one simple hit was enough. Like those hammers, they work. So make sure to have one in your car as well, because they really work. It's usually car glass also really strong, often laminated and stuff. But yeah, with the safety hammer, you can go through it. But I also dropped it from I think I tried 1.5 meter, 2.5 meters. And even when dropping it, it just didn't break.
No.
Tempered glass is people are often worried that the side panel is fragile during transport and stuff, but it's actually much stronger than I expected it would be.
Yeah, so Templar Mar is on Twitch is asking, is this a little bit RGB on the PSU cover? Yes, we're going to talk about that later.
I need 2 hands for this because I need to get the hinge in. So that's how you put the door in. And then, if we go to the close-up cam, different one. And move the motherboard a little bit.
The quality of this one is bad, camera.
Yeah, it's a little bit difficult angle. But there are some magnets here in the sides. You can see them right there and there with some rubber padding so you don't damage it. And you can close it and it will close magnetically. And you can easily take it out of the hinges again. To remove it, let me move this to the side so I can still use my chair. Eric?
Yeah?
Do you see what time it is?
Oh yeah. No, well, still 1 minute.
Yeah, 1 minute. So be quick. Next giveaway coming in 1 minute. So go to msr.com/2/insider. If you're quick, you're still included in this drawing. Of course, we will have more, but then of course you have more chances.
Then I will wait a little bit.
Yeah, give them 1 more minute. In the meanwhile, I will turn this a little bit. So msr.com/2/insider if you're watching on YouTube or Twitch. You can also follow the direct link in Gleam. Eric, do they still have time?
Yeah.
How many seconds left?
Well, I don't know seconds, but less than a minute.
Okay. And make sure, if you're a returning visitor, to also claim your loyalty bonus.
Are we ready?
Yep, I'm ready. So draw a winner. Thanks long, Eric. You have one?
Yeah?
Okay. Can you pronounce it?
My God.
That's always a challenge with some of those nicknames.
Okay, I'm going to do my best, really serious. I mean,
That's what he always says before he screws up.
well, sorry. Probably this is written in a different language.
You're whispering again.
Yeah, Vishnu Prasad.
Vishnu Prasad.
Sounds okay, right?
Congratulations, you also won a $20 Steam wallet code. Keep an eye on your mailbox, then we'll email it to you.
Yes, and
coming
if you
days.
don't know what name I pronounced, I mean, if you
receive an email,
Yeah.
you were a winner.
then you can be happy.
It's as easy as that.
Vishnu Prasad.
Joshua's asking $20 Steam code. Yes.
Yeah.
That's what we. Oh, Merrick's asking, Eric, you got Battlefield 2042 code
No,
yet?
but I upgraded my system. And you know what? When I'm looking for a mainboard, and I always ask Michiel, do you still have something lying around? And he gave me something. Of course, an old engineering sample.
With the soldering spots and stuff
Yeah,
still on the
with
back.
some really like Eric, don't update the BIOS because it might not work anymore because they're not the channel releases.
Sometimes the engineering samples, they still use different chips than what are used on the actual motherboards.
Yeah, so it doesn't run stable. And I see Michiel laughing. And when I got it and I was like pushing in the USB connector, what is it, 24 pin, right?
20 pin.
Oh, 20 pin. The 20 pin USB connector, it was all bended. And I'm getting older, so my eyes,
I did warn you. I said it was a Frankenstein sample.
It was
That's what we
a
usually call
horrible
the engineers.
Frankenstein sample. So I was like with my phone, zooming, and at the same time with some small screwdriver or pin set, I was trying to fix all the pins. In the end, it worked. But yeah,
Often these boards also have like additional headers on them.
yeah, debug headers.
Debugging indeed.
So yeah, I think I need to. I will probably order something from a shop or something. Not use this. Thank you, Michiel, for helping me out.
You're welcome.
Sample.
Do you want another Frankenstein sample? I have
Yeah.
another one. It may give you issues though. Let's talk a little about component clearance, about what you can actually fit inside this case. Because it's not a case that the size of, for example, the Secura 500, which is a huge case. This is still, it's not small, but it's a moderate-sized case, I would say. But you can still fit up to an extended ATX motherboard in here. Of course, you can also put in ATX, micro ATX, mini ITX. It all fits. For your GPU, you have up to 380 millimeters in length. That's quite a lot. So even the largest graphics cards on the market right now, like the Supreme series, for example, later on I will also show you. You can easily fit it in here.
You said on the market.
Yeah.
On the price lists.
On the price list.
Yeah, because most are not available.
Yeah, they can be a little bit like I took the biggest one that I could find in our department. Let's say like that. On the market is a little bit difficult right now. Of course, still a lot of shortage in graphics cards. So yeah. Maybe not on the market, but the ones that exist or are told to exist.
Rumor to be.
Yeah. And then for the power supply, you can fit up to 220 millimeters when you remove the hard disk cages. It's a little bit shorter when you keep them in there. It depends a little bit on what kind of power supply you use. Like most power supplies, you can easily still have it in there. So let me quickly turn this around. I, for example, have one of our MPG power supplies here. And if you would put it in here, let me make a little bit of space. So still quite a lot of space for your modular cables. Like you would only need to have to remove this if you got like an extremely long power supply, like some of those 1500 watt power supplies.
Server power supplies, indeed.
Yeah, they can be very long, and then you may have to remove the hard disk drive cage. But like for our normal power supply. This is, for example, a 750 watt, but our 850 watt model is exactly the same size. They will easily fit in here with enough clearance for the modular cables.
Yeah. Ian9K is saying on Twitch you can find them. On Twitch you can find them right now. However, they're overpriced regarding GPUs. Yeah, that was quite strange because price came down. Everybody stopped buying because they expected the price to go lower, and now they're up again. Supply still an issue. Still didn't improve.
So with all our cases, you can find the screws and stuff like that in the hard disk cage. So if you're ever wondering if they're included or not, yes they are. You just have to search for them a little bit. But I'm going to take the motherboard screws out, then I will screw in a motherboard and show you the space you still have left.
We can call that the jar bag with all the screws.
He needs one to keep them all together.
Yeah.
This is hard from this direction to put it in there because I cannot see what I'm doing. There we go.
That was easy.
Let me stuff this in here so I can put it to the side. Because I'm going to install a motherboard in here, the X570S Ace that I've just been showing you. And that's not specifically because of the motherboard, but because I want to install a graphics card in here. Because it has an additional cool feature that I would like to show you. But to be able to put a graphics card in here, I of course need a motherboard to put it in.
So, Sukmi on Twitch is joining and saying this is anything but a quiet live stream. Yeah, sorry, they invited me last minute. We tried, but we gave up after a few minutes.
Eric is not very good at whispering.
No, not ASMR certified.
Maybe like not very good is maybe a big understatement. Let me find the right screws. Okay, I'll quickly screw that in.
Mainboard, you only need 2 screws.
For an ATX one, this is quite a heavy one as well. It's the Ace, so it's got quite beefy cooling on there.
That's true. Okay, 3. Put an extra one in.
I'm gonna go for 4 in each corner.
Linus said PC building in front of a camera is difficult and it seems real though. Yeah, we did once a blindfolded PC build. That was difficult.
Yeah, it's especially hard because you try to get it in the right way so that you can record it. But yeah, usually you cannot see it yourself anymore.
It's not only that, because you have your own way of building and there are a lot of questions which, you know, interrupt your building process. Besides that, like what Michiel says, everything you want to show as good as possible. And then you always have the Murphy's Law. I mean, things go wrong. We had this many times, screws missing. One
that's
time
only when you're live. Like if you're practicing, everything's always fine.
Yeah.
But when you're live, then you're missing
things can go wrong. We had a build with who was that? Kim? Long time ago, and then her PC was not running stable. And then after live stream, I think you found out that she didn't connect the GPU power.
Yeah, it wasn't connected properly. It was not in deep enough, so it didn't connect.
And we had, you know, that we do benchmarks, and then XMP is not on, which you know differs 3 to 5%. Those small issues.
But then you're just sleeping.
Yeah, but no, I mean this happens.
Yeah, it does. You sometimes forget something. Let me remove all these screws a little bit.
Serious question, Michiel. What is the maximum radiator size you can fit into this case?
360 millimeters. And you can fit one at the front and one at the top. You can choose.
So that's 2 times 360?
Yes.
That's how much? 720.
Yeah.
So then your answer should be 720.
Yeah, if you bend it. Don't try that, by the way, guys. It's not an official MSI recommendation.
Devin on YouTube is asking, can you fit a 360 also on the top? So the answer is yes.
Yes, you can.
Actually, you're going to show.
Yeah, I have
This.
the Core Liquid S series.
Yeah, new one.
A very new one, yes. And I will put it in here later on. Let's first take a look at the motherboard, and I'll put the X570S Ace in here. So as you can see, still plenty of space. Here you can do your cable management, of course, as well.
I want to make a joke, but let's not.
What kind of joke?
No.
Very bad joke.
Yeah.
And now I'm also going to show you another cool feature here. Let's first take a look at the slide maybe, so you can see it properly, because this case also has a VGA support bracket. Like nowadays, graphics cards, they're getting bigger and bigger. The higher end models, they are like 3 fan by default. And especially when you're, for example, traveling with your PC, and you're going over a bumpy road, of course, you don't want to have anything damaged. I would say most graphics cards are quite strong by default. But if you want to have a little bit more safety, then this case has a VGA support bracket. So let's first take a look up close. So this is where it is located, and at the back you can unscrew it a little bit, and then you can move it up and down.
So I think the best practice is to put it at the lowest position, put your GPU in,
indeed.
and then
Which is
push
what
it
I'm going
upwards.
to do now. So
You're
for this
going to
demonstration,
best practice.
I got a very big one. The RTX 3070 Ti Supreme X. And this is a very, very big graphics card. Our Supreme series, our highest end graphics card series with the largest coolers.
So Julian asking, what about the crazy video cards market right now? Yeah, this will still take some time. I mean, shortage, shortage on all fronts, meaning components, containers to ship the goods to your local shop. I see everybody like IBM, Sony, all the companies, Nvidia, are saying that the shortage will still run far into 2022. So, yeah, if you can score a VGA card for a good price, I would say do it. Because also Bitcoin is, yesterday it crashed like 10k USD, but I mean, can go up as well.
So, this is the Supreme graphics card with a can for scale. So, can you go to the other camera?
Yeah.
So as you can see, this is a huge ass graphics card. This is really, really big.
Yeah. And
this is one of the biggest you will find nowadays.
Also
if you can find them. Let's screw it in here. I first need to take out the brackets.
So we're not going to finish the build today because we don't have enough time. We also want to talk a little bit about some new power supplies.
Yes, but I will show you the radiator positioning later on as well.
So should you not first put in the radiator?
No, we can do it later. We can take out these parts as well.
Sure, yeah.
But that's okay. In most situations, I indeed would put in the radiator first, because then still everything's easily accessible. There we go. So as you can see, plenty of space, and then you have the support bracket right here.
Maybe you need to angle a little bit so that everybody can see.
Yeah, it's maybe like that. It's a bit hard to see because it's like underneath.
Like this.
It's hanging loose here now, and I will make sure it can support the graphics card.
Bend it like Beckham.
There we go.
So there is some, what is it on top of it? It's not metal, right? There's some.
No,
some
there's like a
rubber
little bit of foam.
Yeah.
Right there, you can see it in the corner.
Don't stick it into your fan.
No. So make sure to avoid the fan. You can turn it a little bit. So depending on the graphics card that you're using, you can switch it to the left or the right a little bit. Let me see if I can bring this closer.
And that's metal, right? With some foam.
Yeah, it's metal with some foam. And you can adjust it from the back.
Yeah, can you show the back as well?
Yep.
How that works?
Let me see if I can get this. It's right here.
Yeah, thumb screw.
Yeah. So you can move it up and down depending on where your graphics card is fitted. Because in this specific motherboard, it's in the second slot because there is an M.2 on top of that. If your graphics card is one slot higher, of course, you will also position this higher. If you have a model where there is, for example, more clearance for extreme overclocking, like our Unify series, it's one slot lower, so then you will put this lower. So that's all dependent on the exact configuration that you're going to use.
Julian, YouTube, in your opinion, how many fans should a mid-tower have for good airflow? Always depends, of course, on the components.
Yeah, depends very much on the components. Also depends on the size of the fan. If you have like 120 millimeters, and if you're going for like a higher end build, I would say try to go for at least 2 intake and 1 outtake.
And in my opinion, this is also depends on what is your goal. I mean, if you're overclocking, you have a totally different scenario than you're just, gaming on stock speeds. And do you want? I mean, do you want a silent system, or do you want that the CPU or the GPU is as cool as possible? So it depends on a lot of factors here. It's not really one answer to that.
Yeah, indeed. It's always very much dependent on what you do with it, what kind of components you use. So yeah, I removed the graphics card quickly so I can easily put in the radiator without damaging it, of course, while it's installed in the slot. Shall we start off with the front or the top?
Let everybody vote in the chat. Maybe you can show what we have.
Our Core Liquid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me first put these back in quickly.
Because we first want to do a live stream about all the liquid coolers we have, including a new one. We want to do that today. Because this case was like 2 months already on a boat and we lost it.
Yeah, indeed. It was on sea shipment and it took a bit longer than expected, and then it was also stuck at customs. So it took a little bit longer than we anticipated. But luckily it's here now.
Yeah. Which means in a few weeks' time we're going to talk about in detail about this Core Liquid. The S series, also silent.
Yes. So let's grab that one. And I will be using the MEG Core Liquid S360 today. Of course, it has a 360mm radiators, so 3 120mm fans. Those are the same Silent Gale P12 fans that I've just taken one apart of. For more details, please check out our live stream at the end of this month. So the last Wednesday of September, we will have a dedicated liquid cooling live stream.
If we don't change the date.
If we don't change the date,
yeah.
But I don't think so for this one.
No.
Should be quite okay. And I will actually be on a holiday, so I think you'll be doing that one, right, Eric?
No problem.
Good.
I saw what, maybe I should invite Peter from RFE. He took apart, that's already 1 year ago, right?
Yeah, I think so. Our first generation Core Liquid liquid coolers.
He took it apart, he took out, I thought always that there was water inside, but it seems there is some other liquid inside.
It's like coolant. It's a special kind of liquid.
We didn't do a drink test.
Also, never put regular tap water in there. Because, how do you call it? The
oxidation.
Yeah. You don't want to have all that mess in your liquid cooler.
No.
So always make sure to use like special coolant made for liquid coolers. Also gives you better cooling performance.
Salt and stuff, yeah. Animals probably. Small. not fish, but microbes. Otherwise your fish gets balls each. Fancy.
It's a very big 360mm radiator. And as you can see, the block is also rather big. If you watch our live stream later on, you will see why. And then we have our 3 MEG Silent Gill P20 fans included in the box. So let me put this to the side. I don't have any CPU installed on the motherboard right now, so I'm not going to completely install it to the motherboard. I don't even have the right bracket on this one right now.
Michiel, question on Twitch from Tommy.
Yes.
Quick off topic. The MEG 390 Godlike 9900K, MSI 360 all-in-one water cooler, liquid cooling I should say, forgot the name. With a squarish CPU cooler on it. Do we need anything extra to fit the display work, to make the display working? No. I think you need to connect the cables, right?
You mean like the K series, I think, the Core Liquid K series?
Yeah. You need to connect the USB cable.
Yeah, you need to connect the USB cable. It's a USB. You connect it to your USB 2.0 header on your motherboard, and that way it can communicate with the MSI Center software, and then you can adjust the settings of your screen. You can adjust what is shown on the screen, etc., etc. So just make sure that all the cables are connected, and you have the MSI Center software, and then you should be good to go.
Yeah.
That's it. So where were we starting? Front or top?
Top. I saw more people saying top.
Okay. When you're going to install it at the top,
so at the top, then you do pull or push?
I'm going to do pull, like from the case, and push it out of the case.
Yeah.
Of course, when you do this, make sure to install intake fans on the front.
Yeah.
That's an important one. If you're positioning your radiator at the front, it will also automatically be your intake.
And then, I mean, if you're going to do push, so air out, are you going to connect the fans, first the radiator, then the fans against the top?
Like now, when I'm installing it at the top, I'm first going to position the fans on the radiator.
And which one are the fans going on top of the radiator or below the radiator?
Below the radiator.
Okay, so they push out air through the radiator.
Yes. You can choose to put them on top as well.
We should do benchmarks. Which one is better?
Those will be available in the blog post. Because there we will have very many different kind of situations.
Interesting, yeah.
With also the temperature results.
Yeah.
So then you can see exactly what kind of difference does it make when I position my fan in a certain direction or when I put my radiator in a certain position.
Do you have a slide of the CPU block? Or
of this one?
Yeah?
No.
Or can you, well, we have. Can you maybe go to the first one? Or maybe show it already?
Hey, you're already giving all our content away for a later live stream. This product is still very much NDA, Eric.
Yeah, I know. New stuff, that's why.
Very, very quick sneak peek. But very short. Only 3 seconds.
1. 2. Okay, even die screenshot. And so. Okay. 2.5. 3.
And it's gone.
Yeah. That's how we long 3 seconds.
Can you go back to the slides? Because then I'll quickly show you how what your options are. In this case, when you're going to position your fans and your radiator. So both at the front and the top, you can go to up to 3 120mm fans. And that also means that you can fit up to 360mm radiator. On the back you have a 120mm radiator. On both the top and the front you can also choose, for example, to go for 2x140 or a 280mm radiator. Those are also getting more and more common nowadays. So you have a lot of options to go for different fan sizes, different radiator sizes. So today I will demonstrate you with the biggest one, so you can see that one fit. I think it speaks for itself that the smaller ones will also fit. And let's start with the one on the top. I will first position the fans on the radiator. So let me quickly grab some screws. Because now it's easily accessible when I have it on the table. Once it's in the case, you're going upside down, and gravity will also do its job. So that won't make it any easier.
Oh, you can always put it upside down.
Upside down?
The case?
Yeah, you can do that as well. but this is easier to access everything. Where to leave my screwdriver? There. So we got 3 of the silent gill fans, and I'm going to put this part on top, so it will drag the air through like this, and we'll push it into the radiator. So I'm first going to put them all on top.
Cables on all on the same side.
Yeah. Make sure to have them. I'm going to have the tubes on this side, so I can easily go. I don't have to make any weird corners with my tubes to get to my CPU. So that means that this part of the radiator will be at the rear of the case. So there I have my cable management holes, and you can easily get the cables behind the motherboard tray without having to go around something. I'm going to do this quick and dirty with only 2 screws per fan. Of course, when you're going to install this properly at home, just use the 4 screws that it's meant to go with. I'm just saving a little bit of time. Hussein is saying what you need the fans RGB show. Cooling good, but you're gonna need you're gonna get more FPS with RGB. Definitely. That's why we also have some cool RGB parts in this case. I will show you later on.
Can we go back to doing the whispering again? I miss it. Back to ASMR. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, stop it in capitals.
So they're shouting at you in chat.
Yeah. I'm going to do another giveaway.
Ooh. So if you haven't participated yet, go to msi.com/2/insider or follow the direct link in the chat on Twitch or YouTube. This is
So
from
the
my
next
angle.
winner is Banzai. Sounds like Banzai Records. Bonsai Records. Banzai. Banzai, congratulations. You are getting a $20 Steam wallet. I never know what it is. A wallet voucher?
Steam wallet code.
Yeah, Steam wallet code. Anyway, enjoy it. Use it for some nice game and a lot of nice games in the coming months. Also on Steam. You can still participate if you want. Well, Michiel is making this.
This is why you should always use 4 screws, because the one on top is not exactly straight and then my screw doesn't fit in.
Yes, the case is compatible with ATX, eATX and Micro ATX motherboards.
Mini
And
ITX
you
as
still
well.
have a lot of space.
Yeah. Let me route the cable a little bit. There we go.
Hussein had to drink tea after the ASMR segment just to calm down.
I can imagine. There we go.
What is the name of this liquid cooling?
I actually still did it the wrong way around. So that's why always check the direction of your fans. I didn't do it the right way.
I already wanted to.
So you
Doesn't matter.
saw it and you didn't say
Yeah,
anything?
no, well, I was. You said so. This side is on the back, and I was like doubting, but I
And
didn't
then you
want
don't
to.
say anything.
No, well, I didn't want to sound stupid in this
I
live
will
stream,
quickly
you
turn them
know.
around.
Oh no, better. I didn't want to make you look stupid.
Because if you have them on the front, you cannot properly get the wires behind the motherboard tray. And
Oh,
you-
this already shows it's very important to plan how you're going to build your case, and also
to properly take a look at the direction.
yeah, and
of the
also
radio.
just take your liquid cooling, hold it inside your case without any screws, and just imagine how the cooling tubes will go to your CPU socket without CPU or without mounting it. Because then you can already see if there will be some friction or you do it the right way around, and then you don't have to be a Michiel.
So you don't have to do it all over again.
Yeah. This is the same like you put a mainboard in your PC and then you... Oh, damn, this is the I/O shield.
That's a good thing about integrated I/O shields.
This is the Core Liquid S series. And this is I think the 360S?
Yes, S360. Yeah.
S360.
There we go.
So let me check our schedule for the coming months, weeks. Where did I put that? Yeah, so we have a busy schedule. The coming 2 months are already planned. So next week we're going to talk about a new high-end monitor. Really nice monitor. Ja already recorded a video, it's here, but we cannot show it. Week after that, on the 22nd of September, Wednesday 22nd, we're going to talk about MSI Center. We made a lot of improvements, and I know a lot of you hated Dragon Center. It had some bugs. Some is an understatement. It had a lot of bugs. Anyway, it's still not finished, but we made some good steps with MSI Center, and we want to update you about the progress, but also get your feedback. And then on the 29th, end of this month, we're going to talk about the S, the C, and the P series of the Core Liquid. And we also have some small, I should not mention that, right? Let's say a small Core Liquid.
Yeah, you can mention it.
Okay, well, I just did. 120R. Then, beginning October, we are going to, well, it's not 100%, but Microsoft will launch Windows 11 on the 5th of October, so we are planning to do a live stream about that, on how you update your PC, all the BIOS settings you need to do in order to, because with TPM 2.0, virtualization, all those kind of settings. We will have some new BIOS, some BIOS versions already were sent out a few days ago, earlier this week. And those BIOS are ready for Windows 11, meaning they have all the settings in the right place, including TPM 2.0 enabled. So it's very easy to install Windows 11 with that. So yeah, we're just going to explore how Windows 11 works and what kind of benefits it have. Maybe we'll have somebody from Microsoft still checking. I mean, it's easy to have somebody from Microsoft in our live stream, but it's difficult to get the right guy. I mean, we want to talk about gaming, we want to talk about compatibility on which system you can upgrade, and we want to talk about security, which is a big topic in Windows 11. And then we are going to do something with... Nah, that's too far away. Let's not talk about that.
No spoilers yet?
No, that's too far away. And it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, the coming month already announced.
I'm just gonna attach this one with 2 screws for now.
Let me guess, Z690 motherboards. Don't know what you're talking about.
I have never heard
Nope.
about anything like that. Okay, so let me see if you can properly see it like this. So now it's mounted at the top, so you can see the 3 120mm fans. Radiator is here on top. And I did the very quick and dirty way on the very top side with only 2 screws. Of course, if you're going to do this at home, make sure to use more screws. And of course, right now you still see the wires from the fence. You can easily push them through here in the back to get them behind the motherboard tray. So that's why your fans need to be in the right direction. And then you have your water block. Mine currently has an Intel mount. I'm using an AMD motherboard, so I cannot actually mount it like this. There we go. And then you can just...
Will
like
AM5... Oh, sorry, Michiel. Yeah. Hey, don't damage this. I need to present that as a new product in like 1 month time.
Yeah, maybe
You're scratching
slightly scratched and a few
Come on.
bumps here and
Put
there.
it back in the protective bag. Joshua is asking, will AM5 socket Mobos have built-in TPM 2.0? Well, I don't know anything about socket AM5, but if any upcoming socket, yes, for sure. Because already the previous, the current mainboards from the last 5 years or something have
Yes.
TPM 2.0 in the
Yeah, it's already very common for a
in the
long
CPU
time.
included, let's
Yeah.
say like that, or in the firmware included. So you don't need a pin header. So basically everything what Microsoft is supporting with Windows 11 based on the CPUs, they all have what we call hardware or firmware TPM. So you don't need an external chip on a pin header. Most of those mainboards also have a pin header because TPM 3.0 or whatever, you know, or to upgrade it. But yeah, don't worry about that. If you have a recent system from the last 5 years, or let's say if you have a system which is covered by the Microsoft CPU demands, like the system's requirements, then you have TPM 2.0. However, you need to enable it in the BIOS. But it's not only TPM, it's also secure boot and some other virtualization stuff.
So this was the radiator on top of the case. I'm going to remove it in the meanwhile. You can still answer some questions in chat, but then we will put it at the front of the case as well.
Templemar is saying on Twitch, I like the color of the Typhoon, but finding a cage to match it. And Typhoon, oh, Torpedo. Yeah, you know, this is always a big challenge, you know, making them color matched. And we, the same, I think a few streams ago we talked, Michiel, is that removing or breaking it out?
No, it's dropping a screw.
Okay, that's what I heard. If we still would do the whispering live stream, everybody would be deaf right now because of a
Probably.
screw.
It's somewhere in the case.
So yeah, we talked earlier live streams about that. Color matching is very difficult. Not easy because you work with different business units, because also with different materials you work with, plastic, metal. Yeah. And yeah, anyway, we talked about that. Did you mention a price? No, we didn't yet.
It was about Torpedo, right?
That was about
Okay.
Torpedo, yes.
Quick sneak peek in the PowerPoint.
Oh, yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
recognize the color of that case?
Yeah?
Okay, that's long enough. But there is a case coming in the exact matching color of the Torpedo to get a
When?
perfect fit. I'm not 100% sure even.
Are you giving away NDA info? I didn't
no,
know
no,
this.
No, it's not NDA anymore.
Okay.
But it shouldn't take too long.
Now people are starting order custom colors. Tommy, how about silver? How about orange? How about pink?
We don't have any orange or pink motherboards just yet.
Yeah.
But maybe.
So well,
Never say
it
never.
seems we're working on a match for that. I already forgot the name of the model.
Empiric.
Okay, Vampiric.
No one heard that.
No. Ooh, a lot of new products. We didn't plan a live stream for that, did we?
No,
Not yet.
not yet.
Or maybe
We have so
not.
many topics that it's hard to find.
Yeah, actually
week.
we already no, you know, we're planning ahead because we always need to arrange the hardware. We need to have here samples and then, of course, the information. Talk with our technical guys. Prepare for the live stream. So we normally plan 1 to 2 months ahead. But now, basically, this complete year is more or less filled. I mean,
Yeah, it's really, really busy.
I'm still fighting to get a spot to do a Battlefield 6 live stream. Well, Battlefield, you know, live stream.
Tommy says, I like the Netherlands, but I don't like orange.
Yeah.
Happens. It's not my favorite color either, I would say. But I do like the torpedo blue.
Yeah.
But I prefer blue in general. So now let's put it in the front of the case. First I'm going to take the fans off, because I will put those at the very front, and then I will use the screws for the fan to put them on the radiator to basically clamp the case in between. And the reason that I'm doing that is that I'm going to install the radiator with the tubes on the bottom. A lot of discussion about this recently, also in different media, about what is the best way to position your radiator. Preferably, you don't want to have your pump being the highest point, because then you may get bubbles in your pump, and that's usually not very good for it. And preferably, you also want to have your tubes at the bottom. That can be a challenge, though. It doesn't always fit with any specific model.
How do you mean tubes at the bottom?
Sorry?
If you mount it to the front, so you want to have the tubes at the bottom. Why is that?
That's because that way you don't get the bubbles at the part where the tubes are.
Okay, yeah.
Because a liquid cooler is never 100% full. You always get a few percent air, basically. And also that it will not change much, but over the years it can change slightly. So you will always have a bit of bubbles in there.
So, Michiel, maybe you can now show everybody how it should be done. So maybe try to position it inside the case and imagine where the socket will go.
Yeah,
then you
I will
know
show.
To which side you will need to... Oh, you're removing the front.
I'm removing the front, yeah. There we go. Because I will actually use the front to position the fans like this and the radiator on that side, so I still have plenty of room here to get my tubes up top. And always, if you're going to do this and basically put them in your front panel, make sure that your front panel is thick enough, because I can quickly show you. This is a relatively thick front panel, Eric.
Yeah. I was saying yes, it is.
So this is thick enough, so you don't choke your fans. But if you have a thinner front panel, then you might choke it with the plate right here.
Yeah.
So make sure to only do this the way I'm doing it now if your front panel is thick enough. So you still have your fans, they still have breathing room behind the front panel.
So Michiel, does this case have dust filters?
Yes. Actually, there is one in this specific front panel. You can take this out. So this is a dust filter.
Yeah. We started with one case and now we have a case in like 20 pieces. and one damaged fan.
And one destroyed fan.
Okay.
So I'm first going to put the radiator in the right position.
So is it? Can you easily break those tubes?
No, not really. The tubes are actually they also have.
I'm always
coating
afraid
around
for that because you know that they have their own way of.
In the past, they used to be
more fragile.
Yeah, more fragile for sure. But now they're relatively strong, flexible.
Yeah.
So of course, don't do like extreme corners with it. Don't angle it that much, but like it's okay. You can bend them quite far without any issues.
The Gleam link is not working. Ooh, let me check. That will be a surprise. Gleam. Know where I need to go. Stream. So the YouTube Gleam link you're saying is not working. That is YouTube. Timers. It should work. It's the correct link.
I'm gonna turn it a little bit. I know it's harder to see, but I cannot reach it properly.
And it works. Shouldn't the cooler be positioned with the tube, the inlet, tube inlet outlet on the top? No. So Michiel just
Preferably
explained.
not.
Yeah, preferably not because of bubbles. And
But
somebody
you
in
don't
chat.
always have the choice. If your tubes are too short to go all the way from there to your socket, then you cannot do that. Also, if you have a very long graphics card, for example, you sometimes need to go around it with the tubes, and then it can also be too short. So preferably you want to have them on the bottom, but you don't always have that choice.
Because of the bubbles and not so good at trolling, and YouTube is saying, why all hate the bubbles? Bubbles make me happy. If the tubes come from the bottom, it's going to be in the GPU way.
Yeah, it is. That's why if the tubes are too short, you cannot go around your GPU, and then you will have to put them at the top, or you can of course position it at the top of the case. You do have that option as well. Because then the pump, which is in this situation positioned inside the CPU block, will never be the highest point.
Yeah, Ian is saying, so what we learned today is just top mount it. Well, later in this month we'll have a blog with some detailed benchmarks on what the difference in temperatures are. And of course this will depend on your case, the ambient temperature, the components used inside, but I think then you already have a good indication. And did you see the results?
You don't specifically have to top mount it. I think in many situations front mount can be really interesting.
And I think in this case it's no problem. With this combination it's no problem at all.
No. But also that is dependent on the graphics cards you use. If you have to go around it, then of course it will be slightly more difficult. Also, when you're, for example, some people also have an all-in-one liquid-cooled GPU, like our Seahawk series, for example. And then if you want to liquid-cool both your CPU and your GPU, then you will need to position two radiators. Then I will probably go for the CPU one in the top and the GPU one in the front. But also in that situation, try, if possible, to have your tubes on the bottom.
Almost time for another giveaway.
Last fan.
This is how long Michiel takes to do this.
And I'm even doing the quick and dirty way and not putting all the screws in. But yeah, it's a 360mm radiator, so you got 3 fans up there.
Yeah, so later when we have a liquid cooling live stream, we also want to show you the difference between the temperature difference between all the models. Maybe there's no temperature difference, but we'll just take a very power hungry CPU.
And probably overclock it a little bit.
Yep.
There we go. So we now have the fans mounted at the front. This is where our radiator is mounted. We have the tubes right here. And then the CPU block will go here. So here you can see that the tubes are long enough so you can still quite easily reach the CPU. Of course, this depends on your GPU. If your GPU is that long that your tubes have to go like this, then of course you cannot do this. So
like
that
we
really
said,
depends
today
on
we're not going to
configuration.
make a complete system because no time.
No, but what I will do is I will route the fan cables to the back. So let me switch here a little bit. There are some nice cable management holes here in the side as well. So you can also easily get the fan cables to your motherboard tray. And there, behind of course, you have the hub. So this is where you can easily connect them as well. I'm not going to connect all of them right now. It takes too much time. So let me put the front on.
You can you also show RGB?
I can hotwire a power supply for you to show you the RGB. Yes, I can.
Maybe first put in a dust filter. Oh no, you can take it later.
You can
yeah.
you put this one in front.
Yeah.
Maybe you can switch to the other camera.
Yeah.
So then this is what it looks like. So you
It
have
looks
the
like a GPU there.
Sorry?
Looks like a GPU.
Oh yeah, like a vertically mounted
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Well,
No,
that
these
would
are
be- that
these
would
are the
be
fans for the
a
radiator.
Cool concept.
Yeah, I think it is in some cases. It is positioned like very small ITX
Yeah,
cases. You have
yeah.
the standing ones, and sometimes GPU
Yeah.
is positioned like this. But here there are the fans of the radiator. The radiator is positioned behind. And as you can see, let me quickly grab the Supreme graphics card again. You still have plenty of room to fit even the largest graphics cards in here. So
Yeah.
you can still easily fit the Supreme.
RGB. I already saw some people in the chat. RGB, RGB, RGB.
Yeah, we can do some RGB. At the front, you now put in dust filter. So that one goes in front of the fans. And in front of the dust filter, you get the front panel. And then this is what it looks like.
Nice.
Tommy says, imagine having the GPU front mounted in an ATX case. Yeah, that would be interesting. So,
Or do you want to first talk about PSUs?
now we can first talk about the addressable RGB lighting. Maybe you can switch to our PowerPoint. Because of course this case supports addressable RGB lighting with Mystic Light support. So you can also sync it up. When you connect it to your motherboard, you can sync it up by holding the LED button down. It will flash, sync with your motherboard. And then you can fully control it through the MSI Center software in the Mystic Light part. You also have many effects in the software, but also on the case itself. So I will hotwire the power supply that we will talk about later in this stream for you. Don't try that at home, by the way. Only use your power supply as it's supposed to be, so connect it to your motherboard.
Then don't show them, just do it below the table.
Yeah. I'm going to hotwire it so I can use the power supply without actually having to connect it to the other components.
So basically a power supply doesn't work unless you connect to a main board that gets all the signals. So if we now quickly want to show you RGB, so we need some power. So Michiel is now just going to connect 2 pins in the 24 pin connectors. Oh sorry, yeah, the 24 ATX power connector with a paperclip, right?
Yep, got my paperclip.
Oh, I can show detailed.
Now you're still showing it.
Yeah, anyway. So
that's how I
mean, be really careful. On YouTube you can find how you do this. Also a lot of mining rigs are using this.
We don't recommend it. This is not the official way to use a power supply.
This is also how you test the power supply without the main board connected. Yeah. And basically you connect the ground to some other pin, and yeah, you need to have the right pin. So 23 pins are the wrong. No, not like that. I think like 20 pins could be the wrong one.
Because I need some SATA power for the RGB lighting in order to work.
Ooh, it works.
So how does it look?
Nice. Should I switch off the lights? Not sure if I can do that.
That would be nice.
Ooh. That's not a lot of lights, so maybe we have more lights here. That's maybe too much.
That is very dark.
I know, I know, I know. Oh.
And then with the button, you go through different presets.
I can dim it as well, but too many buttons on the remote.
I don't think I properly attached the front panel.
Otherwise take it, oh yeah, I want to say otherwise take it off.
Yeah, I should take this off first so I can access it.
So, and with the, like what Michiel said, with the button you can cycle through all the different color presets. And yeah, it can be flashing, different colors, different modes, let's say like that. You see this already here. They call it like rainbow, lightning.
Can you dim a little bit and then we can go to...
Well, there is this little bit.
Yeah, that's... Can you go to the main cam?
Yeah.
Then I will cycle through a few options.
Yeah, this may be a little bit enough for you. Looks quite strange because I'm still in the light because we're sitting 5 meters apart. 5, 4.5, 6.
So as you can see, you got the RGB, addressable RGB light strip right here. And below the front of the case, you also have some addressable RGB lighting. And both are controlled through the button, or when you press it down, you will see it blink. And when you're connected to the motherboard, that's the moment where you will sync it with your motherboard. So that's also when you can control it, for example, through the MSI Center software.
Hey, like this.
If you don't like RGB, then of course you can decide not to connect it. But please beware that you will lose a couple of FPS if you do that.
Yeah. Oh, Bearded Happy. Sorry, we started as ASMR, but
Eric couldn't handle the whispering for more than 10 minutes.
it was too
So he stopped whispering.
So we stopped with it.
So that's the RGB lighting. So let's quickly take a look at the overview while the RGB keeps running on this one. There we go. So this is just a summary of everything we went through. So you get the sound dampening foam on the front panel, the top panel, and the right side panel. They have a hinged swing door with tempered glass on the left. Control board behind the motherboard tray. There you can not only connect addressable RGB devices, but also your fans. And those fans you can control through a button on the top of the case. You have Mystic Light RGB at the sides, in the front. And of course you get one of those very cool MEG Silent Guild P20 fans in the back by default. Don't destroy them like I did today. You don't have to see the internals anymore, you already did here. So yeah, that's our MPG Quietude 100S. I hope you guys like it.
Are all the lights on?
The lights are all on.
Why am I shining that bright? Too much light on me. Okay, so you also want to show a little bit about new power supplies?
Yes. But let's first take a look at the pricing. I saw some people asking for that as well.
Yes.
So the MPG Quietude 100S will be $129 excluding VAT, or 129 euros including VAT. And this is just indication pricing. All
so that's like with
resellers
21% VAT or something?
This is calculating with 20. That's about the average in Europe. Some countries it's slightly higher, so then the price will go slightly up. Some countries it will be slightly lower, so it will go slightly down. But still, these are only our recommended prices. And the resellers can define themselves what the actual price in the store will be.
So it can be lower depending on the margin they take. It can be higher depending on the shipment cost or whatever with the pandemic.
Indeed. And the MEG Silent Guild P20 fans are $39 excluding VAT, or 39 euros including VAT. All of these should be available in 1 to 2 months. So in some regions,
When the ship arrives.
yeah, when the ship arrives. In some regions, they will already arrive in September. Some regions will have to wait a little bit longer until October probably. But that's approximately when you can expect it. Best way to get more detailed information about your specific region is to check with your local reseller when they expect them.
The liquid cooler we're going to talk about in
Yeah, last Wednesday of September.
Yes, 29th.
Because that one is not officially released yet. So this is just a sneak peek today.
We're going to talk about all the ins and outs, and we're going to take one apart, I guess. Not sure if it's going to be this one. And we're going to try to check what the difference in temperature and noise is. So somebody from FEE, our technical department, will join. So hopefully we can take one apart without destroying it, like what I
and then we'll
normally
also
do.
show performance and stuff. And
Yeah.
everything.
Michiel, I'm going to do a giveaway, so
That's
you
good.
can mentally prepare for the power supply.
Actually, the power supply is currently running with RGB lighting on the case.
With a paperclip in it.
Yeah. So I'm going to switch it off. And then the lights will switch off as well. And I'm going to remove my paperclip trick. Again, don't do that at home unless you know what you're doing. It's not an official way to start a power supply. Then let's remove the quiet tube.
I'm so happy. Can you read who won?
Ooh, that's the wrong Eric.
What?
It's not you.
Why, no, it's the same name.
No, it's an Eric with a K. Congratulations, Eric.
That's some
You also
writing.
won a $20 Steam wallet code.
When my family filled it in, they didn't know how to write it.
Ah, so that was it. I'm sure
I'm
there will be
expecting your
many
email
Erics
soon,
right now.
Michiel.
I think there will be many Erics now that I thought they
Oh
won.
yeah, that's
So
true. That's true.
just to make sure, there's one Eric that won.
And it
So-
wasn't me.
And it wasn't this Eric.
No.
It's an Eric with a K.
Yeah, congrats,
But
Eric.
you will know if you're the Eric if you receive the email in your inbox with the $20 Steam wallet code.
Yeah.
So if you haven't participated yet, go to msi.com/2/insider, or if you're watching on Twitch or YouTube.
Damn.
Was it working on Twitch now, the link?
Yes, it's working.
Okay, then you can follow the direct link to the Gleam giveaway. There you can perform certain actions. The more actions you perform, the bigger chance you have to win. And if you're a returning visitor, then you also have the option to claim a loyalty bonus for a slight edge in the giveaway. So now let's take a look at our new power supply series, because we already had our MPG power supply series. I have one of those here. So you might be familiar with this one. So in this specific example, it's our MPG A750 GF, so the 750 watt model. It's also available in 650 watts and in 850 watts. All of them are 80 plus gold certified. All of them are also fully modular and offer a 140 millimeter fan in the top. So this is a relatively high-end power supply. 80 plus gold is relatively high, fully modular. But of course, that also comes with a price. So more and more people were requesting also for more affordable options in power supplies. So now we're launching our new MAG series power supplies. So MAG series is our more affordable range with Arsenal Gaming. Then the MPG series is above that with Performance Gaming. And then there is MEG with Enthusiast Gaming.
But
so
we don't have
current-
anything for that yet.
Not yet. I'm not going to tell anything more.
Well,
But-
I can guess it's like RGB to make it fast.
Maybe
Probably
not.
has a...
Our new liquid cooler doesn't have any RGB and is an MEG product. So it
Okay.
can be something else as well.
Oh, true.
But today
I
we're
already
going to
see
talk
some people in
about
the chat like
MAG.
1K plus. Yeah, can be. I don't know. Michiel knows.
maybe,
We will see.
perhaps. Today we're going to talk about our MAG series. So let me first show you up close. So this is one of the models. If you go to the slide, you can see that we have models in 550 watts, the A550BN, and in 650 watts, the A650BN. And to be honest, I don't actually know if this one here is a 550 or a 650 watts, because this one doesn't include the sticker. This also
You got a sample again.
Yeah, engineering sample.
Yeah.
So it doesn't show on there. But other than the power, they are the same. So
You only got one?
I only have one today.
Okay. Yeah.
So I have either the 550 or 650 watt. I don't know.
But
because
I
also
think
in terms
look
of
and feel will
connections,
be
they are the same.
identical.
Sorry?
Look and feel should be identical.
Yeah, they are 100% identical.
Yeah.
Also in the cables they offer, in the look, they are 100% identical, but one can deliver 550 watts, and the other one can deliver 650 watts. So let's take a closer look at whom this is meant for. And this is it's of course a more entry-level power supply, mostly targeting people who are just getting started with PC building, that are not using the highest end components. Of course, if you're running like a Ryzen 9 or a Core i9 with an RTX 3060, go for a higher end power supply, more powerful one. But of course, most people are not building a system in that price range, and then the MAG can be a really nice option. So if you're going for like a mid-range system, then the MAG series might be the perfect fit for you.
So you said we will have a blue case. Will we also have blue power supplies?
I don't know about that yet.
I mean, it looks like in the case.
Maybe a good idea.
I mean, look at the photo.
It looks pretty good. But I also like the black, because the PCB of the motherboard is also black.
Yeah.
So it kind of fits better if it's not completely blue. I do like the look of the black power supply in blue case.
So David James on YouTube is asking, are the cheaper ones going to be bronze rated?
Yeah, that's correct. They're 80 plus bronze certified. Indeed. Yeah, so very nice fit also with our other MAG components. So here you see a few examples. One of that new Vampiric case, and that also will come in blue. Our new MAG Core Liquid C series power supplies that you see on the bottom left. And then of course
that's not the S we showed today, right?
No, that's a different one.
Yeah.
This one has a lot of RGB. The other one is focused at extreme silence, so it comes with the MEG Silent Guild P12 fans. And also a very nice fit with the look and feel of our MAG series motherboards. And as already mentioned in the chat, these are indeed 80 plus bronze certified. So for example, our MPG power supplies are 80 plus gold certified, so they will be a bit more efficient. So basically what that means is if you put in a certain amount of power, let's say
if you put in 100 watt,
yeah, 100 watt, and this one may draw 110 watts from your wall, and this one may draw 105 watts from your wall. You always lose a little bit. And the more efficient your power supply is, the closer the actual power draw is from the power draw of your system.
Yeah,
So
and that
what it
also
actually
depends
draws
on the
from your
curve. I mean,
Yeah.
when you're drawing less power, it's not efficient at all. But at
And when it's extremely high, it's also not very efficient.
It's
so,
normally at
yeah.
60 to 70%, I would say.
Yeah,
Well, the curve indeed is long, so yeah, it's a wider range. You're right.
But yeah, the MPG series will be slightly more efficient than the MAG series. But I would say 80 plus bronze is still pretty decent. It's not a high-end power supply, so keep that in mind. Also, if you can already see that the cables, for example, are attached, where the MPG series has fully modular cables. So those are the kind of differences you can see, but there will also be quite a big difference in price. Also, the MPG series, for example, come with a 140 millimeter fan. The MAG series, it's also a slightly smaller power supply, and it comes with a 120 millimeter fan. It's still a very silent fan. Okay, go to the close-up cam, and you can see the difference in size as well. So let me put them in the same direction. So now you have the MPG model on top and the MAG model on the bottom. So as you can see, there's quite a bit of a size difference. So in this one, you wouldn't be able to fit a 140 millimeter fan. So it's a 120 millimeter in here, 140 in here. The compact size, of course, also has its benefits. It's easier to fit in most cases, even though this one is also in by far the far majority of the ATX cases. This one will also fit fine though. But it has a slightly smaller package. So 120 millimeter fan in there. even though it's a more affordable model, it still comes with all the safety measures. So overcurrent protection, etc. So if you're loading more on your power supply than it can handle, that it will not explode but will shut down automatically. So all those kind of protections are still present in this model as well. So it doesn't mean that if you're getting a cheaper power supply that you're automatically getting an unsafe power supply. Still very well tested, very well certified product. And it's also backed with a warranty, because these power supplies come with a 5-year limited warranty. I believe our MPG series come with 10 years, for example.
Correct.
But yeah, still a very decent warranty. Also, usually power supplies can last quite long. So for example, if you want to take your power supply with you for multiple systems, then it's also nice that you still have warranty while you're already running it, for example, in a newer system.
Chris on YouTube is asking, what is the decibel level of the fan on nominal load?
Ooh, later on I have a spec sheet. I think it should be in there. I don't know that from the top of my head. Let's take a look at the cables. This is identical for both the 650 and the 550 watt model. So I can also show you up close. So the cables are attached. So this is not a modular power supply. So the MPG series, you get all these connectors and you get a bag of cables. And you can just put in what you need and leave out what you don't need. These are attached to the power supply. Of course, you have your 24 pin. Then you have your, right here, the 8 pin for the CPU. Then for graphics card, you get 6 plus 2 pin power connectors. So you can still power pretty decent graphics card with it. For example,
this is not meant for the ultra high end like RTX 3090.
This is not meant for
Supreme.
example, a 3090 or something.
No.
But for example, here I have
where you need 3 connectors.
Yeah, this is our RTX 3070 Ti Supreme, which is already a very high-end graphics card.
Yeah.
And this one, for example, has 2 8-pin power connectors. So this will be no problem with this power supply, for example. But I think in most situations...
yeah, so VRK is saying, I love modular, but of course this comes at a price.
Yeah. Yeah, also modularity is definitely a nice feature on a power supply, but it does make a power supply significantly more expensive.
Yeah.
That's why we're now offering several options with a slightly more affordable one that is not modular, 80 plus bronze certified, and a slightly more premium one with 80 plus gold certification and also fully modular. Then you also get a bunch of Molex SATA connectors for all your...
No floppy? No floppy anymore?
I think we do actually. Look.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
I was joking, but it's still there.
It's on there.
Yeah, probably also used for some storage devices like tape drives or something.
Yeah, it's also used, for example, on some...
sound cards, somebody is saying.
USB hubs sometimes, or like control panels on the front of your case.
Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes, nowadays you see it more in SATA, but if you're still using one of those older panels, then you can still power it. I don't think many people are still using floppy. So yeah, quite a big bunch of connectors.
Alien Hunter 9070 is asking, will there be an option to on fully modular power supplies to buy longer cables, since nobody's doing this? Well, no, currently we don't have this, but it's a good idea, and it's also important because you cannot just take another brand cables and put it on your power supply. That even if you have all of different power supplies from the same brand, it might not be that exchangeable.
I am actually doing this the other way around. I'm using custom cables to make them shorter, but that's because I'm using a very small mini ITX system and I don't have the space for the long cables. So I'm actually using custom cables to have them shorter to be able to fit everything.
And how does it work? Do you then need to define or provide what kind of power supply you have?
Yes, of course you need the specific cables for your power supply.
Yeah.
But there's like a
you
manufacturer
you send them to this company and they cut them in two and they take apart.
No, you can just order the cables. Like, this is my power supply, and then you can order the
Interesting.
Cables. But of course, it depends on the model that you have. This is for very short cables. So, for example, some popular SFX power supplies are available there.
Yeah. So, Alien Hunter, interesting comment. I will send that to our HQ office. And of course, I mean, not sure if they're going to do this, if they're interested in it. But if they do, it will take a long time. I mean, this will not be next week or next month.
Then I have the spec sheet. I see I don't have any noise numbers here, but
I can make noise.
That noise is my notebook.
Okay.
Because the power supply is currently switched off. So this
Is the product page already online?
For the Quiet 2 it is for sure. I'm not sure about the power supplies.
Let me check.
You can check, yeah.
That's the problem. Sometimes we have two new products, even the product page is not online. Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah, they're online.
Yes. The 550. Let me take the 650. Specifications. Oh, not a lot of specifications. We're talking about noise levels, right? It's not specified here. No. No. Yeah, you don't see this, Michiel, but it's like we will need to send an email to HU that they need to expand the spec list because it's like
too short.
It's like what you have on your screen, and that's too short indeed.
So yeah, efficiency up to 85%. So that's the 80 plus bronze certification. Fan type, it's a sleeve bearing fan, 120 millimeters. As you can see also when I switch to the next page, so those are the specs of the 650 watt model. The differences are on the 12 volt rail. So that's, for example, important for your CPU and graphics card power. So here you get, on the 550 watt model, you get 45.5 amps. So that's 546 watts dedicated for the 12 volt rail. And on the 650 watt, you get 54 amps, which is 648 watt specifically for that.
Yeah, and when we did our first MPG power supply, we already showed you with a live demo that you should not buy a power supply which is too much overkill for your system.
Yeah,
I mean,
doesn't make sense indeed.
If you, of course, peak power and power spikes are a thing, and future CPUs and GPUs probably as well. They're going to use more and more power. So yes, on one hand you are ready for the future, but on the other hand you're also wasting more power, and then it's overkill, and you're spending too much money. So if you have a power supply, or if you think about buying a power supply for future upgrades, then you need to take that in mind. Otherwise, you can really calculate well what your system is using based on the components and the peak power usage.
See, question if a 3060 Ti can run on a 600 watt power supply? Yes.
Yeah, no problem.
No problem for a 3060 Ti.
Yeah. I would even, am I wrong if I say 450 watts even?
That depends much on your CPU.
And
also the 450 watt model you're using.
Indeed.
Not every 450 watt power supply is the same.
And also the GPU. I mean, if you have a standard model, it's different than an overclock model.
So yeah, I'm for example now running at home a 5600X with a 3060 on a 450 watt power supply. That's no issue at all.
But you tune always everything.
Yeah, but even untuned, it can easily run it.
Okay.
Like my full load power consumption is like 300 watts max.
Yeah.
So still plenty of headroom. But that's a 3060. 3060 Ti consumes a bit more. And I'm using a 5600X, which is 65 watt TDP CPU. Of course, with a Ryzen 7, with a Ryzen 9, a Core i7, Core i9, you will need more power.
Yeah. Take care, Tommy. He needs to go back to work.
Goodbye, Tommy.
Thanks. So FXG Raven is asking when will the MEG Shield 110R and 110A be available? The Shield?
I don't know from the top of my head. That's something I would have to check. Shield is one of our more entry-level models. Let's take a look at the pricing. So these, again, like with the Quietude and the Silent Gale fans, these are recommended prices. Can be slightly different from region to region due to taxes. Can be even slightly different per reseller. But for the MEG A550BN, so the 550 watt model, the MSRP is $59 US. excluding VAT, or 59 euros, including VAT. Then for the MAG A650BN, so the 650 watt model, it's $69 excluding VAT and 69 euros including VAT. And just like the Quietude, this should also be, it's already shipped. It should be available in most regions, either in September or October, a bit depending on where you are. So as you can see, it's quite a lot more affordable than, for example, the MPG series.
Yeah. Decent pricing for this, I believe.
Yeah. More competitively priced. So that was it for our power supplies. Let's see if we have some more questions. David James says, I wouldn't go below a 600 watts.
Yeah, he was talking about RTX 3060 still.
Yeah, it depends. Depends on which exact model you have. Which, if you have like a 65 watt CPU, like a 5600X, you can easily run it on a decent 550 watt or maybe even 500 watt power supply. So yeah, it depends on multiple factors. But if you want to be safe, it's better to go slightly above.
So Alien Hunter is saying like sometimes a PSU with more wattage is cheaper than a lower wattage. Yes, that can be true, but it all depends on the quality. And I mean, it has to do with volume and market demand.
Not only quality, but also features. Like for example, if you want to have a fully modular power supply, it will be slightly more expensive than having a semi-modular or.
But let's if we compare apples to apples, then even I mean, based on the features. Then even, I mean, the volume can be on a like, I don't know what now the volume is, 650, 750 watt power supply, I would say. That's the mainstream nowadays.
Yeah, I think slightly lower even.
Yeah.
I think that's what you're really looking at for a somewhat higher
RTX,
end system, like 3070 area.
Yeah.
So I think, but I would say like 550, 650, 750 watt models are very popular nowadays. Today's graphics cards are a little bit more demanding on your power supply than 1 or 2 generations back.
Can MPG be used with a Core i7 or is MPG recommended? Actually, that all depends on your complete system configuration.
Yeah.
And this basically, it's not only CPU. I mean, Core i7, is that like 9 gen or is it, what are we now? 11,
is it a
12,
overclockable
13 gen?
K model or the standard model, the non-K model?
What GPU are you going to use? So GPU and CPU are the most important if you want to calculate the power used by a system.
And
all other stuff like SSD and hard drives is peanuts.
And it also depends. If you want to have a more silent system, then the MPG can definitely be worth it because it, for example, uses a 140 millimeter fan. But I would say in most situations, 650 watt would be plenty for example, a Core i7 non-K with even a 3070. You can easily run that.
So VRK is saying on YouTube, I'm done with all the questions for today. Well, then I think we're also done, Michiel.
So
right?
are we. Time for our last winner?
Yeah,
and then
indeed.
let's call it a day.
Oh.
You're archiving.
I pushed the wrong button. Hey, this doesn't compare to you pushing the wrong end live stream button when you just started, right?
No one saw that.
Yeah.
So our last winner for today is...
Your turn.
The what?
Oh my god.
I cannot read it. You have to make it bigger. Then I may be able to read it.
Friegel? Okay, I'm going. Your turn.
Okay. FRC Ego. Congratulations. You also won a 20
That's not
US dollar.
pronouncing, that's spelling.
That's smart, huh?
yeah. It is.
Yeah, you also won a 20 US dollar Steam Wallet voucher. Please keep an eye out on your mailbox. Then we will email it to you in the coming days.
Yeah, so thank you all for joining. Next week, Ja will be here and probably Peter is going to talk about new MEG 381 CQR Plus.
Was that the huge ass screen I saw in our
That's
department?
the one over there, yes.
Oh, it's not right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of features.
And it's big.
It's huge. Big is...
An understatement.
Yeah, indeed. Ultra wide, checkbox yes. It's ultra wide. It has a mouse bungee or whatever we call that. Well, normally I would like drag it in front of the camera, but we cannot do because there's still
Cables attached and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
cables attached, and they're still recording some videos we're doing for that model.
Do I see a second screen on there?
That's yes, that's for.
Okay, I'll stop with the spoilers now.
That's indeed.
So make sure to be here again next week, same place, same time. Thank you so much for joining today.
No.
Oh.
Thank you for joining today.
Thank you for joining today.
Yeah, we hope you
We have
enjoyed
been
it.
whispering all live stream, right, Eric?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Stay safe and see you again next week, guys.
The loud part we will cut out. Take care.
Goodbye.